on behalf of KPMG partners, a very warm welcome here to our offices in Barangaroo. Nice to be able to actually see out the window and see Parramatta and almost the Blue Mountains. Thank you very much for being here fairly early in your day, and I'm sure it'll be an investment that we'll all be very grateful for have made. Just to recognise Ambassador Anil Vadva, who's the former Secretary East of the Government of India and the leader of the Australia Engagement Strategy. Welcome, sir. Manish Gupta, the Indian Consul General for Sydney, Dr. Harry Haranath, who is the leader for Multicultural New South Wales. And then on the Australian side, I'd like to recognise Julian Leeser, MP, the Honourable Andrew Robb, AO, who's the former Trade and Investment Minister, who we all know very well, and also Trudy Whitbrook, who's the leader of DFAT here in New South Wales. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and to jointly pay our respects to their elders, past and present. KPMG are absolutely delighted to be able to host this important breakfast to hear from the Ambassador in partnership with the Newland Group. This follows an important dinner that was held at KPMG's offices in Melbourne on Tuesday night for Ambassador Vadva, which was hosted by Jay Patel, who sends his apologies. He's interstate with our Indian client business, which is very good to hear. Australia's bilateral relationship with India is incredibly important and should be comprehensive. I just want to flick through my phone to an article that Greg Sheridan wrote in this morning's newspaper. His opening paragraph, well, the headline is, "Forget the cricket, this is our real test over India." When Scott Morrison travels to India next month, he will be embarking on one of the most important overseas trips of his Prime Ministership. He needs to set in train a process to fundamentally reset this relationship. Now, the article goes on, and I highly recommend that we read it. But it's a very strong call to arms for all aspects of the Australian community, business, higher education, and the public sector. The Australia Engagement Strategy follows the very important report commissioned by the federal government and led by Peter Varghese that was released 2 years ago, and that will have a very long, slow burn and a massive legacy impact on the Australia relationship with India, and it's already starting to lead to more investment and trade opportunities far beyond what were initially anticipated. I would like to thank Ambassador for making this the 5th trip this year to Australia and having met with so many Australian leaders to listen and to hear public opinions that help shape the AES, which we're looking forward to hearing a little bit about today ahead of its launch in January. Prime Minister Morrison obviously is travelling with a very high-powered delegation, including Mr. Leeser, to New Delhi in January to speak at various events, but something that's close to our heart at KPMG, the Australia-India Youth Dialogue, is one of them. This will be followed by Trade Minister Birmingham's leading a delegation of a much larger group to the Australia-India Business Exchange in February, which is building great interest and anticipation amongst the Australian business community. I think we'll see a very strong response from the business community to that event. So I'll now hand back to Dipen, if that's okay, to formally introduce the Ambassador. But once again, thank you for being here. Very welcome, and I hope you enjoy the meal and the hospitality. Thank you.